Okay, good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the meeting of Perth and Kinross Licensing Committee. I'm convener Mike Williamson, who's convener of the committee. I'm joined by my vice convener, Councillor Ian McPherson. I'm also joined by other members of the committee alongside Mona McClan, Deputy Clerk and Solicitor to the committee, Karen Engelberts, Licence Enforcement Officer, and Adam Taylor, who's the Clerk of the committee. Can I now ask the clerk to confirm any apologies received for today's meeting and confirm attendance of those in the chambers and online?
Thanks, convener. We have apologies this afternoon from Councillor Reid. All actual members are present in the chambers with the exception of Councillor Harvey. So I'll just ask Councillor Harvey to confirm that he's actually online.
I'm online. Thanks,
Thank
man.
you. Yep, so all other members in the chamber could be. Councillor Frampton's actually joined us in the room.
Thank you. Could I ask if there are any declarations of interest in respect to the business on the agenda today? I have a declaration of interest in my role as ward councillor for the first paper, so I'll hand over to the vice convener for that item. Are there any other declarations of interest? If there are no other declarations of interest, could I please ask if the minutes of the meeting of the licensing committees held on the 8th and 16th of April 2024 be agreed? Okay, I'll now hand over to Councillor McPherson for the rest of this.
Thank you, convener. We now come to item 4 on the agenda, which is grant of public entertainment licence PE 441. Members, this application is page 9 onwards in your document pack. For this item of business, we are joined via telephone by the applicant, Mr. Graham Howie, and Mr. Lee Story, event manager. Can I just confirm that both of you are online and can hear? Mr. Howie, Mr. Story, can you hear us?
Lee Story is here. I'm online.
Mr. Howie, are you present? No. Is there any way we can get in touch with Mr. Howie? And
I'll try and give him a call to see if he's struggling to get on or not. I'll just give me 2 minutes on that one.
okay. Hello, Mr. Howie. Are you present now?
Can you hear me now?
Yep. Is that Mr. Graham Howie?
It is, yes, thank you, yes. My apologies, I was having trouble getting connected, but I seem to be with you now.
Okay, thank you. And is Mr. Lee Story still present? Mr. Story, can you hear us?
Mr. Howie, are you present now? Yes, I am, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Is that Mr. Graham Howie? Yes. It is, yes, thank you, yes. My apologies, I was having trouble getting connected, but I seem to be with you now. Okay, thank you. And is Mr. Lee Story still present?
Yep. Hello, can both gentlemen still? Are you still? Can you still hear us?
I can hear. Story, can you hear us? Mr. Howie, are you present now? Yes, I am, yes.
Okay, then we'll proceed.
Is that Mr. Graham Howie? Yes. It is, yes, thank you, yes. My apologies, I was having
I will now. Excuse me, but I'm afraid that we can still hear you talking. I don't know whether that's some feedback on your phone.
Yeah. Hello, can both
There's a
gentlemen-
delay. There seems to be a delay in.
What was that? Sorry, Councillor Harvey.
Yeah, there seems to be a delay. We're hearing it like in a 5-second loop. Actually, I'm hearing it anyway in a 5-second loop.
Okay.
Is
all
that
right
better
then.
now?
Yeah, that is.
Okay, stuff, right.
Thank you. I will now hand over to Moyna McLaren, who will introduce the report and advise on the procedures of the hearing. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is an application, as you know, so for a public entertainment licence for a music festival at Pitlochry Recreation Ground from the 29th to the 30th of June 2024. And what the procedure will be today is, as it's a new event, we'd ask the applicant if you could just give us a bit of a background about the event and about the organisation of the event, and then after that we will consider. There is one objection in relation to this matter. Consider the members who consider the objection, and also present today is Robert Lyle from the Council's Environment Service, who's a convener of the Safety Advisory Group, and will be also asking Mr. Lyle's view regarding the event, and then we'll be giving yourselves, the applicants, an opportunity to answer. The committee will ask questions, and we'll give you an opportunity to, you can respond to the objection. The committee will ask questions. We'll also ask questions of Robert Lyle, and thereafter they may consider that they wish to adjourn to make a decision, or may just make a decision, before in public, or adjourn to consider factors regarding this matter, regarding the application, then come back. Is there anything else, anything that you need clarity on?
No, I think I'm okay for the moment.
Yeah, so it's just because it's a new event, it would just be giving a brief background in the first instance.
Okay. Well, it's a part charity event which I'm trying to help the Pitlochry and Community Action Trust, which is registered as part
Sorry,
of the
Mr. Howie, can you just hold a second, please? So,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, if we can just follow this formally, thank you. I would now like to invite Mr. Howie to provide details of the application, and particularly to respond to the letter of objection. Thank you.
Okay. So you want to start with the background of the festival?
If that's your wish, yes, but you also need to respond to the letter of objection. Thank you.
Well, what do you want me to do first, a letter of objection or a background?
Well, if you could start with the background, thank you.
Okay. It's a part charity event. We're hoping to help raise money for the Pitlochry and Community Action Trust, a registered charity in Pitlochry. I'm sorry, I can't hear you now.
We can still hear you. Yeah, you can
Right.
proceed with your application in full. Yeah, we won't question until the end of your submission. Thank you.
Okay. So it's a celebration of Scottish music in Pitlochry. We're trying to raise some money for the Pitlochry and Community Action Trust, which is part of the event management plan. And I'm hoping that this will be a much needed boost to the local economy. We've been trying to attract people to stay for the weekend rather than just come in and come out. That seems to have been successful with the amount of weekend tickets that we've been selling. It's very much a family event. Children under 13s are being admitted at free, and there's been a huge number of applicants with adults for children coming to the event as well, enjoying the community stalls and the various other attractions that we have, the food, and of course the music. So that's the background of the application for the festival itself. Do you now wish me to continue with regards to answering the points of the objection?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the first objection with regards to noise is going to be music festival, concerned about excessive noise levels prior to and during the festival. Noise levels, of course, will be monitored by sound limiting equipment, with Perth and Kinross Council visiting the day before the event to agree sound levels for the event itself. And local residents will be notified of the schedule of events happening that weekend with dates and times. Crowd dispersal is going to be through, mainly through the car park, which is at the back of the recreation ground, which we've come to a special agreement with the Dundarroch estate, helping to raise some money for them as well. In terms of licence times, the music as a licensable activity will be stopped at 11 p.m. on both days. The bar is closing at 10:30, and security, of course, will stay on site to ensure that the site is clear. I would add that we have contracted North Granite Elite Security Services, who have a very, very good reputation throughout Scotland for managing this type of event. In terms of numbers, we really are looking at quite modest numbers in our first year. This is something we'd like to do every year, but we're looking at very modest numbers. And if you think of the Highland Games, which has 8,000 attendees on a yearly basis, I think we're really looking at around 4,000 per day as a maximum at the moment, based on current ticket sales. But of course, that could change as we get nearer to the event itself. With regards to parking, a note on the objection has been people having to pay for parking, and there'll be nowhere to park anywhere without avoiding Tumble Crescent and Ferry Crescent, and the concern there, which I understand, is being overwhelmed by cars obstructing driveways, etc. We do have a very substantial traffic management plan in place with an external contractor, which has been approved by the various SAG meetings. Ferry Road, for example, will be for residents only, with no parking signs and also marshals in place as per the traffic management plan. And Ferry Road has to be clear, obviously, to allow a blue route for emergency vehicles. So there will be no parking in Ferry Road and the Tumble Crescent throughout the event, and that will be monitored. It will be coned, and it will be for local residents access only. So there'll be no restriction in local access for people living in Tumble Crescent and Ferry Crescent, and there will be no road closures. With regards to toilet facilities, the whole recreation ground is being fenced off, and again, part of the event management plan is being monitored very closely by our security company. The road around the perimeter will be kept clear, as it's the blue route for emergency vehicles, and customers will not be able to access the wooden sheds. This is as per the Purple Guide, and there will be sufficient toilet provisions in place on site. Would also add to that, as part of the briefing that we have on an ongoing basis closer to the event, I've actually been down and had a look at the site again with regards to the wooden sheds, and we will make sure that there will be sufficient number of stewards in place to prevent access to that area. Point 5 is with regards to camping, and no camping is available on the site itself. It's something we decided not to do. And all customers have been notified of local accommodation, including campsites and hotels. This has been part of our ongoing marketing on Facebook and on our website, and as part of the ticket purchasing process. And everyone has been notified that there is no camping on site. There will be security before the event as part of the setup, 24 hours, and we will make sure that nobody is camping in the park behind or on the actual recreation park itself. It's just not part of our application. There is no camping at all on the site. So I hope that answers the questions clearly, and anything else that I'm sure you will ask me.
Thank you, Mr. Howie. I'd now like to ask if any members have any questions for Mr. Howie or Mr. Story. Thank you. Councillor Allen.
Thank you, Mr. Howie.
Hello.
You answered the questions about the objection quite well. I just wonder, had you taken the opportunity to actually speak and engage with Mr. Moyer to put his mind at rest?
I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to meet with him on site or wherever. I didn't think it was appropriate to contact him in advance of the licensing committee hearing. I have been down to have a look. I was actually standing outside his house the other night thinking, should I go in and make contact? But I didn't think that was appropriate without prior notice. But I'm happy to do so.
Councillor Braun.
Thanks, Convener, and thank you for your presentation, Mr. Howie. You mentioned this is the first event in Pitlochry, but I'm trying to get some background. Is this something you've arranged before elsewhere, this type of event?
I've been involved in the music industry for a long time, working closely with artists, and I've helped and assisted in other events in Edinburgh and the borders. But in terms of this being our own event, or mine, for want of a better word, as the promoter, no, this is my first in Scotland. I've done it abroad many times as well, but not actually in Scotland, though I've been involved in it, but not actually been in charge as such.
Councillor Rona Brock.
Thank you, Convener. I want to go to the Appendix 1 on your draft conditions for the Heartland Music Festival. And going to Table 3 on your parking areas, it says may be open as follows: Saturday, the 29th of June to 10 AM until Sunday, the 30th of June at 4 PM. As the event is on until 11 PM, is that a typing error or what? I just need to get clarification on that, because if you're closing the car park at 4 PM on Sunday, the 30th of June, when the event finishes at 11 PM, what is the situation on that one?
I think that's probably a typo. We've been selling parking for either to purchase for the Saturday or for the Sunday. Some people have asked for weekend parking, and this has been part of our drive to take traffic off the streets and reduce any possible congestion. So basically, when you arrive to park your car, you are free to remove your car at any time. And when the festival is finished on the Saturday, the car park will be closed, and it will then be monitored with the 24-hour security.
Are you able to confirm what time it will be closed at then, if it's not 4 PM?
What do you mean, 4 PM on the Saturday or 4 PM on the Sunday?
Well, I don't know, because all you've got on your appendix is Saturday, 29th of June, 10 AM until Sunday, the 30th of June at 4 PM.
Well, the car park will be open to allow people to come in and out and take their cars as they wish. The car park won't close until the Sunday night, until the festival is finished.
So what time will that be then that the car park will close?
Well, the car park will close at 11 o'clock on Sunday night. I would think most cars will be out before then, but that's when it will officially close. We're not going to, there's no point taking cars in before then, because people will be already there.
Okay, it's just that I'm trying to from what time your car park will close, so that people are aware that that is when it is going to close. So you're saying 11 PM it will close, or will it be after that?
Well, it may be slightly after, depending on how many people stay to the very end, and if they have a car, and obviously they'll need to remove their car straight away, because that's when the parking finishes. We have to have all the cars out on Sunday night.
Okay, Convener, if we can just get clarification completely on that, then it would be good to know for the residents' sake as well around the area. Okay, thanks.
Is it possible to provide any further clarification on that?
Yes, I'd be happy to come back to you on that. It's a pity that that Lee isn't on the call. It must be a technical issue, but I mean, I think I'm getting a little bit confused with the question, to be honest. The cars will arrive on the Saturday morning, and they'll be there all day on Saturday. They may well stay overnight on Saturday if they bought a weekend ticket. When the festival finishes on Sunday night, all the cars will have left.
I am actually online here, Graham. I'm just
jumping
in here, if that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, the car park will be, site should be clear by midnight on that Sunday. So the whole site should be clear by midnight Sunday. That's what we're foreseeing. We're expecting probably an hour flow out of the site at latest. But as Graham said, is that people will start to drift away earlier anyway throughout the night, and we'll just keep monitoring and control of that. But as the latest would be midnight on that Sunday night.
Thank you for confirming that. So we're looking at midnight then instead of 4 p.m. So that will be changed. Yeah. Thank you.
It will, yes.
Councillor Braun, you have a second question?
I've got two actually. Last committee, but I'm happy to split them if you want. They're very short ones, really, and it's just going back to the letter of objection. Just first of all, the parking on site, I take it that's going to be chargeable from what you were saying. Just to clarify, people have to pay to park on site. Is that correct?
Yes, they're buying the tickets in advance as part of the ticket purchasing, which they have online, and there's an option there to buy tickets either for the Saturday or for the Sunday or for effectively a weekend pass. And what we've asked them to do is to have the ticket clearly displayed in the windscreen to minimise any delay in getting into the car park. We will drive them all the way down, and then they will be placed in a parking space. So it's prepaid.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'll come in with the second one. This comes back again to the objection. It's back to the camping question, and I appreciate the point. There's no camping on site, but I think what Mr. Moore was trying to raise was the fact that you could potentially have 8,000 people wandering around Pitlochry trying to find somewhere to stay. I know you said they'd be monitored in the immediate area, but I think his concern was that these people could be camping anywhere, and we could have a problem with dirty camping. I mean, is there anything you're doing yourselves to make sure that that isn't occurring in Pitlochry?
Well, when people have inquired, we've made it quite clear. In fact, I had a lady email me just the other day asking, where she could camp, and I made it clear, as we have done throughout, that obviously camping can only be at an authorised camping site. We only have control over the ground that we have. I don't have control throughout Pitlochry for any event where people choose to come in and partake in dirty camping, whether it's for a festival or whether it's just to visit Pitlochry or whatever. So there's very little control that we can have over that, other than what we said on the website, that obviously what we have done as part of the booking process is that we've explained what camping facilities are available, be it at Fornab or at Faskerley or out at Blair Athol, because many of the camping sites have stopped doing the actual camping itself, rather than the camper vans and the caravans that you could normally bring. So we've made that quite clear, and we've given a lot of referrals, and they have taken a lot of bookings for camper vans, etc., and caravans to go to those sites. How many they've had for camping applications at Blair Athol, I don't know. But if I may say so, I think it's a little bit unfair, because we have no control, and it's really it's a different matter. I don't think it's a matter for the festival. We can't control dirty camping. If people come to Pitlochry, as they do, whether it's for a festival or whatever, and they choose to dirty camp, I think that's a different type of issue altogether. I can only control what is happening on the park itself. We've notified people as best as possible. We've given them as much advice and guidance when they've come back to us, even supplying links for the various camping options that they have. The market that we have here for the festival is not a tea in the park type audience. It's interesting that most people are buying a ticket for the weekend, which shows they're coming in to spend money within the area. And also, most of the tickets are being purchased by women aged over 35 years old, who are, we've also sold a lot of children's tickets as well. I don't think those are the type of demographic that will be doing a lot of dirty camping. It's just not the music that we're attracting and the type of market that we've gone for is very much the older market. It's not the younger market of sways of 18-year-olds looking for somewhere to put their tent. That's just not the way the festival has been targeted, and that's been proven in the ticket sales.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. We now have a question from Councillor Stewart.
Thank you, Vice Convener. Mr. Howie, I'd like to return to when you were discussing about the number of guests you're expecting.
Yeah.
Could you just clarify how many visitors you're expecting each day?
Well, we won't know until nearer the event. With the license application is for 8,000 people per day. I will be amazed if we get anywhere near that, certainly based on current ticket sales. But of course, the ticket sales are ongoing right up until the last minute. So I won't have a definite answer on that until the Friday or the Saturday when the festival starts. At the moment, it's pretty much split 50-50 between the 2 days. Of course, some people are coming for the weekend. Some people have just bought a ticket for Saturday or just bought a ticket for the Sunday. So I think it's much more realistic if we look on the basis of probably around 4,000 people per day that will be actually on site. Certainly at the moment, anyway.
Okay, thank you. And on the back of that, you're talking about security and toilet facilities. Is that all prepared for 8,000 people, or is it just something that you're adjusting as the amount of sales of tickets there are?
Well, we will have to adjust it. At the moment, the plan as per the SAG meetings and for the event management plan is based on 8,000 people. So we need to be careful that we're well covered there. And at the moment, that is very much in place and that's agreed. If we drop to 4,000 people and it's looking like we're not going to get a mad rush, then those numbers will drop slightly, but we'll still have way in excess of the guidelines in terms of how many people are on site and in relation to how many toilets we have. So we have a plan in place, which means we can get caught out. So if we suddenly do get 8,000 people, then we have enough toilets in place because that's part of the plan at the moment.
Thank you.
It's Lee Story here as well. So yeah, just what we'll be sitting at is we'll sit over and above the purple guide. So we'll always be more sufficient than what we need, and it's a movable force. We'll fluctuate as and when we need to, but we'll always sit above the purple guide recommendations.
Okay, thank you. Do members have any other questions for Mr. Howie or Mr. Story? No, and I don't see anything. There's nothing online. I'd now like to ask Mr. Howie if you would care to sum up. Thank you.
It's just to reinforce that this is very much a family event, and we're trying to help and drive the local economy, which has taken a battering after COVID. I very much hope that we can raise some money for the Pitlochry Community Action Trust. I think it's a great celebration for Pitlochry and helps to put us back on the map. We're losing the Blair Athol horse trials this year, and I very much hope that in future years this is something that could replace it. It's also very much, I think it's a great credit to our village and where we live. I understand that it's a little bit disruptive for some of the residents. I'm a local resident in Pitlochry as well, but it is only 2 weeks of the whole of the year, and I hope that the benefits greatly outweigh any negatives that are there. It's a very well run and very well organised festival. We've gone through all the SAG meetings meticulously. I've deliberately contracted a very, very good company, Liz Hobbs Group, who are very, very experienced in festivals throughout Scotland, have an excellent reputation, and they have been equally meticulous, as you can tell, with Lee joining me today in the planning to make sure that we cover all angles. And in terms of a music event, this is very much a family occasion, and it is a great celebration of Scottish music, which is not being held anywhere else. And I very much hope that we'll have the support of the committee for it. Certainly the response from the local area has been very, very strong, and 99% of the population of Pitlochry seem very, very keen on it. And I think it would be a great asset to the community and to the area now and moving forward.
Yeah, I'd also like to add to that, Graham, is we are working very closely with Graham and have been from day one on this here at LHG. And as you rightly said, we've got 30 years of experience delivering large-scale events and festivals all throughout the UK, not only Scotland. You know, we've worked in Dundee a lot recently over recent years. We're not adverse to being able to speak to any objections or Mr. Moyer. We'd be more than happy to speak with him with his points that he's made. With regards to the licensing objectives, we are putting everything in place that nobody will go near his garden or his fencing, nor his street as well, for any inconvenience to him or anything else, and is more than happy to come down on site when we're down there for a walk round and to make sure that we've got everything done. But you know, we're keeping all the roads clear for emergency access and vehicles, and nobody will be beyond the fencing going on that, apart from emergency vehicles, which is keeping people well away from his garden and his premises at that time. So we're just working very hard to deal with that and noise, as it's been a sensitive matter in all areas really. And as Graham said as well, the numbers won't be the same this year, and we hope to build and make things better year on year, and include everybody within the local community within the event going forward.
Okay, thank you. I'd now like to ask Robert Lyle, who is the Regulatory Services Manager for Perth and Kinross Council, if there's anything that he would like to add. Thank you.
Yes, please. Just to let you know that the Heartland Festival, Mr. Howie and Lee Story have been involved in the SAG process, and the SAG comprises of Police Scotland, Scottish Ambulance Service, Scottish Fire and Rescue Service, Building Control, all of the regulatory services, and Green Space. And they have submitted comprehensive plans which cover the fire safety, medical plans, health and safety, stewarding, waste, catering, noise management, the traffic management plan, and sanitation. I have worked with Lee Story previously, so I've got confidence in management as far as that goes, through previous events over a number of years. And if it helps committee, on the weekend of the festival, I, along with members of regulatory services, will be present throughout, along with members of Police Scotland and any other blue light services that may want to be part of a multi-agency control centre.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lyle. Are there any questions from committee members for Robert Lyle? No, there doesn't appear to be. So I just ask, do members wish to adjourn for discussion?
I think you'd have to consider is whether to approve the draft conditions at Appendix 2, but as pointed out, with the amendment of the car parks being opened on the second day of the event, the 30th of June, to midnight, would you be prepared to accept those draft conditions as that's the first thing for your consideration? And the second thing, you have to consider whether to grant the application with the approved conditions, or refuse the application. These are the options open for you to consider. So the first issue, for you to consider is whether or not to accept the draft conditions with the amendment of the car park being open to midnight on the second day. I'll ask, do you want to adjourn?
I'm sorry, can I just clarify with members that you don't want to adjourn to discuss this? Is that right? You're quite happy to proceed? Okay. Thank you. My motion is therefore to approve the draft conditions in Appendix 2 with the amendment of the car park being open until midnight on the second day. Do I have a seconder?
Happy to second. Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Braun. And my the second motion is to therefore grant the application with the approved conditions. Do I have a seconder?
And happy to second again. But
Thank you, Councillor Braun. So can we change the wording on motion 1 where I stated that it was Appendix 2, that we amend that to Appendix 1. So therefore my motion is to approve draft conditions in Appendix 1 with the amendment of the car park being open to midnight on the second day. And Councillor Braun, are you happy to? Yeah, thank you. Therefore, my second motion is to grant the application with the approved conditions. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Braun. Are there any amendments to the motion? Therefore, the application has been granted. Thank you. I now advise all those present and online that we have come to the end of the public session of this meeting, and we will now be moving into a private session for the remaining items of business. Thank you.